Hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. How we doing tonight? Ryan here. Not sure if Joe's going to be able to join us tonight or not. We will we will find out. It's been a it's Memorial Day. Not sure if he was going to be able to make it or not. We were supposed to go golfing earlier, but it was not friendly for us today. It was crappy outside. It was wet, kind of rainy all day, cold and windy. Really, really crappy Memorial Day. But yeah, I'm not sure if he had something else going on tonight and if he's going to be able to join us or not. Let's see. Looks like he may be able to join us in a little while. So, this is what, 3, 4 weeks in a row now we're trying to talk about why. And yeah, I'm going to put a little pause on that because that is one Joe and I want to talk about together. In the meantime, we'll kind of do a Q&A, I guess. I've got some questions I've had written down, just compiled from the last year or so doing the podcast, of different questions I've been asked over time. We'll just pick away at those, and if you guys watching end up having any questions that come to you as you're sitting here listening to me ramble on, please shoot them to us in the text, and we'll answer them as best I can. We will probably cut it a little bit shorter tonight, just since it is a holiday. I'm not sure if anybody will be joining us or not, but see how long we hang out for. Keep it a little bit shorter and enjoy the rest of the evening with the family before we all got to get back to work. So, one of the questions I had: when or do you continue to help someone over your head when you realize they will not likely get above water? When or do you continue to help someone? Okay, I'm going to answer the what I believe that's asking. I think it's saying if you realize that somebody's probably not going to make the changes necessary to make them. So if you start to pick up on the fact that somebody else isn't going to make the necessary changes, do you continue to try to help them? To some extent, yes. You always want to keep the door open and continue to give hints at changes that could be made in order to make said person's life better, easier, whatever. Um, when people are told directly, sometimes they can kind of shut down and not really listen and pay attention anymore. But if they start to see changes around them, that can make them interested and pique their interest a little bit and get them maybe wanting to make the changes, but not have anybody notice that they're making the changes. And so it's important to continue to set a good example to people like that, because you may break them down. You may not, but all you can do is try. And if you're not even setting an example, there is absolutely no chance that that person will make the changes necessary. So, yes, of course, we can want to continue, even if we think that person's not going to make the changes necessary. We want to continue to try to get them to do that. Another one. Do you nurture star potential even if you may lose them, or if the team member doesn't think that they're that good, or that they don't want more? So I guess that kind of goes back to that same question. It might have been clarifying that other question, but yes, you want to continue to try to motivate people, continue to try to change people and get them to see, I guess, the error of their ways, or different choices that they could be making to maybe give them different or better outcomes. Just because somebody, like we said, just because somebody doesn't see it now or doesn't want to make the changes now, doesn't mean we give up on them. Go through some of these to see what else I can find. All right, here's one. How do you motivate someone who is not driven by money or change? There is always something that motivates people. It is our job to figure out what that is. And maybe it's in ourselves first and foremost. But before we start changing people, and before we can become leaders ourselves, we need to be open and willing to change and learn ourselves. And so motivating somebody else is just finding what drives that person. Maybe it's not money. Maybe it is spending more time with their kids, with their family. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe it's spending time with their dog. I have no idea what different things can motivate people. But all you got to do is find that thing and help realize how, or then you need to get the other person to see how changing these certain things or certain ways can help them get closer to that goal, or whatever is motivating them. Show them how it can help them get closer to that. All right, what's up, Preston? Glad to see you tonight. Preston asks, what's the best way to motivate yourself when you feel like you are not hitting your personal goals right away? Yeah, for that, you have to understand that progress of any kind is progress. If you're trying to lose weight and you jump on that scale and it's only moved zero point 0.1 of a pound, guess what? That's still progress. That's still weight lost. And to that same point, if you're trying to lose weight, maybe that scale didn't go down, or maybe it went the other way. You need to realize that, okay, maybe your cardio is better. Maybe now before you were only able to walk a mile, now you can walk a mile and a half. Or you hit a new personal best in the gym on a certain lift. It could be anything that you're trying to do. There's some way to find positive measurables in what you're doing, and that's what you got to focus on. Progress of any kind is progress. Are you familiar with the 1% rule, Preston? There's a book about it and everything, but essentially the 1% rule is you're aiming to get 1% better every single day. Think about it. 1%. Is that much? It's 1% of anything is not that much. So if you can change just 1% a day by the end of the year, it's 365% that you've changed. Just little bits of progress is something to be happy about. It's something to celebrate. Those are what you need to focus on. And then the more you can focus on those and train your mind to pay attention to those and find those little positive things to focus on, you're going to be that much more likely to be focusing on that. You're going to develop the habit of focusing on the positive. You are in full control of your mind and your thoughts. You need to realize that and figure out how to harness that. Figure out how to control those thoughts. Most times we let our brain control us. We let our thoughts run wild. That causes us to act or do things certain ways or react or get emotions, angry, upset, sad, whatever. If we take a second to think about things, we can develop a habit of being more able to control that. Same goes for our thoughts. No different from trying to motivate us when we're trying to hit our personal goals. You cannot. Don't be so hard on yourself. There's no reason to be hard on yourself. I have to tell my wife that all the time. It could be anything. She's very hard on herself, and I have to constantly tell her, like, look, this happened and this happened and this happened. These are all good things. Like, pay attention to that, not the one shit thing that happened. That's really no big deal in comparison to all these other great things that are going on. Patience is a virtue, Preston. It's something you've got to practice. If you don't have it, you obviously have now recognized it. What are you going to do to fix it? Answer your question. I see you also asked, how can you stand out from others? That's an interesting question. It kind of depends on the situation. Um, I think the main thing is to be yourself. Be your genuine self. If you try to be anybody other than yourself, you're going to trip up at some point and you're going to get caught and the game's going to be over. Um, whatever you do, however you do it the best you can and be yourself. I'd say that's the best advice I can give on how to stand out from others. Give 100% effort and be yourself. Anybody else got any questions? I can continue to dig around for some more to try to answer. All right, let me see what else I can find. Okay, here's back to the motivation. how do you motivate when people have different motivations? So this must be if you're leading a team or in a team setting and you have different people, different backgrounds, different paradigms. How do you get them all on the same page? Again, that's just getting to know your teams, being that leader that you would want somebody to be for you, and earning the respect of your team, and that's getting to know them. Once you get to know them, you're going to learn the ins and outs of who they are as a person, how they operate, and the thing with a team, when we've mentioned it before, it's like putting a puzzle together, and each person is a different puzzle piece. There is a way that it all fits together and it will work very, very cohesively. And it's our job as leaders to figure out what strengths of each individual works well with other individuals' weaknesses and how to get those to meld to create a team. Yes, I do know. Believe it's this one, isn't it, Preston? How to Win Friends and Influence People. And yes, I absolutely can. Joe and I actually have a book list that we have been putting together for a while. We will get that. Yeah, I'll try to get that up this week. So keep an eye out for that. We'll put a book list up on social media and on our website. If you haven't seen the website yet, make sure you check that out. Join2brothers.com. Need to head over there, check out what we got going on. We also have a newsletter. It goes out every Monday. I have finally figured it out. I have gotten it out on time. Well, this is the first week. Last week I had some technical issues, but I did get it out on time today. But we have all kinds of, we have a lesson learned from the previous week. We have a positive affirmation for the week ahead. And then we have any updates going on with the Mapes Mindset. I'm going to throw a link up for that on the site or on the video right now. And then you can follow the links up top to check out the rest of the site. But if you head on over to join2brothers.com, you can see we've got a whole website with a whole bunch of different things that we've been working on lately. So, but yeah, we will get that book list up. Right off the top of my head, there's a book. I was looking to see if I had it. I can't see it. I think I loaned it to Joe or somebody, but it's Start the Day by Making Your Bed. It is by Admiral McRaven. That book is, you need some motivation, check that out. And for a little bonus, go on YouTube and look up that same thing in YouTube. He's got the commencement speech he gave at a university. And that basically he wrote the book from that commencement speech that he gave. So check that out. If you need some motivation, go check that speech out. It is very inspiring. And you get some good history lessons in there too. Very, very interesting though. I did enjoy that book time we had. Preston, I'm not sure if you saw or not, but I'll take down this newsletter link for a minute. Throw up another one. We've got an ebook I put together a couple weeks back and worked on for a little while. But I got a free ebook out there. It's at join2brothers.com/unlockyourproductivity. Or like I said, I've got the link up on the screen, but there's a free ebook to beat procrastination. Check that out. Might help you too. Preston, I might have just the thing for you. I've got a group I've been working on putting together. Need some help testing some things out if that'd be something you're interested in. I'm not familiar with Discord, so I need help playing around. Shoot me a message. If you're interested, we can hook up. Maybe we can meet up, grab a cup of coffee, chat some, and then talk about that. I'd love to do that. All right, let me see if I can find any other questions. I know I've got some. A whole bunch of questions, but a lot of it's team related stuff, leadership related stuff. I'd like to cover that all separate time, different, just different live stream, not necessarily tonight. So trying to find ones that can work along with mindset and growth rather than leadership right now. Again, if you guys got any questions, please shoot them over. I'd love to take a shot at answering them. See if I can't help you out a little bit. In the meantime, browsing through a bunch of papers. I think I found a note. I don't even know what that is. I've got some interesting news coming up as well. Get into talking about a little bit more later, but I've been in the process of looking into some new stuff the last couple of days and just signed up for something today. I'm pretty excited about it. You guys will find out soon. There's a little sneak peek posted on our story. If you guys check that out, you can see a little bit there. But like I said, I'll get into more of it later, but I'm pretty excited about it. Big news, big changes, announcements, whatever, coming soon. Here's an interesting quote I found written down. A mistake made twice is a decision. Not sure if that's I've seen that somewhere or if that's somebody else's or not, but very interesting. I can't find any other good questions in there. Not for this kind of topic. What else do we got? Anybody got any other questions? Otherwise, we hit about a half hour. I might wrap it up there. Been a pretty light Monday night anyways, with it being Memorial Day. I wouldn't hate to get off a little sooner, go enjoy the rest of the night with the family. One last time, I threw the link up for the newsletter to sign up. Like I said, we talk about lessons learned from the past week. We also give a positive affirmation for the week ahead. I printed mine off today, and we got it posted on our fridge. So that's going to be something we push my wife to use a little bit too. I think we all need it. We all can use some positivity in our life, and then the fridge, it's a good place to have it. We all go there multiple times a day. I think I've already read it like 15 times today, so that's a good spot for it. Good work, Tiff. Oh, and to finish that, we got the positive affirmation, and then we give updates in there too. So, today we talked about that ebook that we put out last week. Oh, I talked about the lesson I learned last week was about communication and the importance of not just getting the words out, but ensuring that the other person heard what you said. Hey, Dan, what's going on? How are you? Sorry, I got distracted for a second. But yeah, the lesson I learned last week was about communication and just the importance of ensuring the other party heard the words, not that you just speak them at them. It's very important to make sure everybody's on the same page. The message is clear and understood, and it goes both ways, but responsibility falls on us to make sure that everybody is on that same page. In case you're just joining, Joe was unable to come on tonight. We were supposed to go golfing. He ended up making other plans once we realized the weather was crappy and couldn't get out, unfortunately. I'm pretty upset about that, but he had other stuff going on, so we switched it up. We were going to do the why conversation, try that for the fourth time since we finally got this live stream figured out. But since he wasn't here, I switched it over and just did some Q&A, answered a few questions. Preston joined us earlier. He asked a good one about staying motivated if you're not making the progress that you want. And we talked about some books, answered a few other questions from previous podcast episodes. Those are all up on Buzzsprout, or you can head on over to join2brothers.com. Check out all the offerings we've got over there. Got our blog. I'm putting up a couple articles a week. Got some information on our one-on-one coaching, as well as different podcast episodes and other videos, information, what have you. It is 9:30. With it being Memorial Day, I am going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Enjoyed the conversation. Appreciate the questions, and hope to see you all next week. Have a great week. Wow. Try this again. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to any service members for your service. You have no idea how much we appreciate you. Have a good night, everyone.